All right. I think we can go ahead and get started. It looks like people are signing in, so I will do my introductions as everybody else gets signed in. Thank you so much for joining us today. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Michelle Edwards. I'm a CPA and owner of Trailhead Accounting Solutions. I'm so excited that you're here to learn with us today. There is a lot going on in the world right now with this coronavirus and the COVID, and it has kind of shooken up all of our businesses literally overnight. No matter how hard any of us can plan for crazy things to happen on our business, I don't think any of us were really truly prepared for what is going on right now. So from the bottom of my heart goes out to all of you business owners out there who are struggling through this, who are scrambling around, trying to make sense of what's going on, trying to figure out how to make changes in your business. What does this look like? How long are we going to be affected by this? So much going on in our minds, and I know it's a really scary time for all of us. So hang in there. We're all in this together. And, as we get through this, we will be stronger, right? Not only our own personal selves will be stronger, but our businesses will be stronger on the flip side. And who knows, maybe it'll encourage us to find some new revenue streams and grow other profitable parts of our business. So time will tell, right? Time will tell. So if you guys have been watching anything coming through from the government, you will know that the government is putting out a whole bunch of great opportunities to help small businesses during this crisis. Things are changing literally every hour. So the information that I'm giving you today is stuff that I have found, stuff that I have researched up through this morning. Literally 15 minutes ago, I finished putting these slides together with new things coming through. This stuff changes literally every hour. So if I get other big notices, I'm happy to notify you guys, and definitely reach out if you have questions because it's complicated stuff and it is changing. And the tricky part is there's not a lot of good information from the government yet. They're still scrambling around trying to get all this information out to all of us. So we're going to do the best we can. I'm going to share with you what I know so far. And then yeah, hopefully it'll help you make some informed decisions for your business on what programs are out there from the government. So today we're going to talk about three different things. First, we're going to talk about the family leave. There's a, sorry, I was looking for my notes real quick. The family leave that came through, and that is paid time off for your employees. I believe a lot of you do have employees, so we're going to just touch base on this real quick so you know what is out there and what is required of you. And then we're going to dive into the two most popular loans that are available to help small businesses. So I'm going to switch over. I'm going to start at my slideshow, and then we will go from there. So give me just a minute to switch over to that. Hopefully you guys can see that. All right, so economic relief for small business owners. All right, so first things first, we have the Families First Coronavirus Response Act that was passed about 2 weeks ago. This requires that small business employers provide their employees with paid sick leave. And leave if they need leave to take care of sick family members or if they need leave to take care of kids who are out of school. So kind of break it down, there's three different levels of this. The first one is you are required as an employer to pay up to 2 weeks, which is up to 80 hours of paid sick leave at an employee's regular rate of pay. However, this does maximize out at a $511 per day. If the employee is unable to work because the employee is quarantined, either by state or local authorities, they are experiencing COVID-19 symptoms, they have a cough, they have a fever, and they're seeking medical diagnosis. The second thing, if the employee needs to take time off to care for a sick family member who is subject to quarantine, or if they need to take care of kids who are out of school because their school and childcare has been closed and they are unable to telework, which is a big part of this, Then the employer is required to pay up to 2 weeks or 80 hours at 2/3 of the employee's regular rate of pay, up to $200 a day. And then the final one with this is um, also up to 10 weeks under the FMLA if the employer or the employee needs to stay home to take care of kids. All of this, don't panic, all of this is reimbursable back through payroll tax credits. So I don't want you to freak out. I don't want you to be like, oh my God, I can't afford this, because none of us can afford this right now, right? So the government is offering full credits back to the employers through payroll credits. So take a deep breath. That is coming your way. Let's go through this, but I don't want you to kind of freak out that you have extra things that you have to pay. So here's kind of the detail of how it's broken out. They need to be unavailable to work or telework, which is the big key there, because a lot of us are working from home. So working from home is a lot easier if you have little kids around. Hopefully most of your employees can still figure out how to make that work, and the employers can work with them to figure out how to make that work. So the big things are, number one, we kind of talked through these, but the employee is subject to federal, state, or local quarantine or isolation order under COVID-19. So, for example, they have been around somebody who's has COVID-19, and the government is saying you need to quarantine yourself to make sure that you don't have it or not spread it if you are carrying the germs on you. Has been advised by a healthcare provider to self-quarantine. So you're sick. You're experiencing COVID-19 symptoms and are seeking medical diagnosis. So the employee doesn't know whether or not they have COVID-19, but they have the classic symptoms, a cough and a fever. The fourth one is that they're caring for an individual that's typically a family member who is, under self-quarantine. Or experiencing COVID-19 symptoms, or caring for a child who is out of place or out of school. So we've kind of talked through all of those. This is kind of a piggyback onto the FMLA rules. Here's kind of an interesting part to that it's saying that employers with less than 500 employees must comply. However, there is an exception that small business owners with less than 50 employees might qualify for an exemption if you can provide, details that if you provide this benefit, it could jeopardize the fatality of your business as a going concern. So if you really truly can't follow these, they will come out, the Department of Labor is coming out with some way you can apply to not have to follow this. So just know that that's there. I have not seen the form actually come out from the Department of Labor. We're still waiting on that, but there is this potential that you could apply and say, I cannot follow these. The good news about this is where the government is stepping up, is the employers will receive 100% reimbursement for these paid leaves. And health insurance that is paid during this time is also included in the credit, which is great. And these are all going to be done through a payroll tax credit when you file your 941. That's something, if you're one of our clients and we do payroll for you, we will handle that. Or your payroll company will take care of this for you. So if you have to pay employees that are on leave, reach out either to us or your payroll processing company, and they'll make sure that you get these credits added back. So this truly is just a really great benefit for small employees of small business owners who typically wouldn't have paid time off for this kind of stuff. So it helps, kind of everybody, and it helps the employer, so employees don't feel like they have to come to work sick, right? If they're sick, you want them to stay home. So that is a quick overview of the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. All right, so let's dive into the two main loan programs. I'm sure that's what most of you came for today. So let's dive over on those. I'm going to grab a quick drink of water. Sorry. Excuse me. So the first one that we're seeing is called the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, or you'll probably see it out there called the EIDL. This is the one that you're seeing a quick $10,000 in your bank account in 3 days. That is what this is for. So let me give you some details on this. This is run through the SBA, which is the Small Business Administration. And if you're not familiar with the SBA, they work with small businesses. They have loan programs. So any other time of the year, if your small business can't qualify for a loan through a bank or a regular loan, you can reach out to the SBA, and usually they are able to provide funding to small business owners. They have a whole bunch of different programs out there. If you need loans, definitely check it out. This is one that is really popular right now. It is because it's for this economic injury disaster, what's going on with the COVID-19, right? So this one is going to provide financial assistance to businesses who are currently experiencing temporary loss of income due to COVID-19. They are giving out loans up to $2 million if you qualify. The interest rate is 3.75, which is a great rate for small businesses. You can't find business loans at that price. Business loans typically are pretty pricey. And they're also offering long-term loan repayment options of up to 30 years. You'll want to work with your loan provider to work out the details of exactly what you need. And if you're a U.S. small business owner, you are eligible to apply. They are making this loan also pretty easy to apply for. They're reducing a lot of the red tape that typically business owners have to go through to get loans, because they need to get these loans to these small business owners. This loan you can use basically to cover anything in your business. So it can cover fixed debts, payroll, accounts payable, and other bills that can't be paid because of the financial hardship that you're experiencing because of COVID-19. So if you need, this is a really great loan if you need to cover basically all aspects or any aspect of your business, and you need some money to help wade you through the storm for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months to get you, the ball up and the ball under you up and going again. So that's really what this is for. Super flexible, covers all areas of your business. The cool thing with this loan is they are offering an up to $10,000 advance. So when you go online to apply, you answer a bunch of questions. The application is actually pretty simple, and they will send you up to $10,000. I haven't heard what people are getting, if everybody is getting $10,000 or if some businesses are getting less. I'm not really sure. This is still pretty new. The application just went live a couple days ago. So nobody really knows what people are getting, but it is up to $10,000. So if you go to apply, don't go in with the mindset that you're guaranteed $10,000. It definitely says up to $10,000. The cool thing with this is the advance will be made within 3 days of the loan application, and the loan advance doesn't need to be paid back, even if you were denied a loan or you decide not to continue with the loan. So that's kind of a cool thing. It's basically a $10,000 grant or up to $10,000 grant for just applying for this loan. So this is a great way if you need money in your bank like yesterday. This is a great option to look at and consider. But do you understand, and a lot of people aren't making this connection, that you truly are applying for a loan. This isn't just a grant. They're not just throwing money out there. This is starting the application for a loan. You can, on the other side, decide not to take the loan, but just know that this could, you might get a hit to your credit that you have an open loan pending. So know that. To apply for this, you're going to go to COVID-19 relief.sba.gov. Make sure you're going to .gov. There's a whole bunch of criminals out there and scammers out there who are trying to get your information. So when you do this, make sure you're going to the sba.gov. So, and again, that's COVID-19 relief.sba.gov. I helped one of my clients walk through it on the phone the other day. Super simple process to qualify. I think it took us about 10-15 minutes. All she needed to do was to provide her annual revenue for the last year and her cost of goods sold for the last year. And then she had a whole bunch of questions that she needed to answer. So that is the details on the EIDL. All right, so then we're going to go to the Paycheck Protection Program. This is the big one that everybody is ranting and raving about, that this is free money, they call it. I wouldn't call it free money, but a lot of people have it in their mind that it is free money because this loan will be forgiven or potentially forgiven, which is incredible. Excuse me, one second. So the US government has authorized up to $349 billion for this loan program. And it's really designed to help small business owners keep their employees employed. That's the key. I'll say that again. It really is to keep employers, to help them keep their employees employed during this time. Hence why it's called the Paycheck Protection Program. So the SBA, again, this loan is coming through the SBA. The SBA is stating that the loan amounts will be forgiven as long as you use the funds to cover payroll, mortgage interest, rent, and utility costs paid over the 8 weeks after you receive the funds of the loan. And the second part is employees and compensation levels are maintained. So you can't get the loan, pay your employees, and then terminate all your employees right away, right? There's no kind of dates on how long you need to keep employees employed. Know that if that is your plan, you might run into some troubles getting this loan forgiven. You cannot use this loan. Well, I can't say you cannot use it. If you use this loan for other things in your business, then that portion that you spent the loan on will not be forgivable. So let's say you use part of the loan to pay for supplies or inventory or other business costs. Whatever you use that's outside of these kind of 4 criteria, that portion of the loan will not be forgivable. And then it's important to know that payroll costs are capped at $100,000 for each employee. And you have to use 75% of these proceeds for payroll costs. So banks are scrambling around. This act was passed late on Friday, or I think it was Friday, maybe Saturday morning. I don't really remember. The days are all flowing together. I know I spent my entire weekend reading through this and watching videos and trying to get a grasp on it. So banks are truly scrambling around right now to get this going. And the SBA just released yesterday that banks starting tomorrow on Friday will be able to start giving out these loans. I've heard from some local banks that they are going to be ready and they are going to start doing applications on Friday. I heard rumors from somebody this morning, if you bank with Chase, that they're going to do it online. They originally said they'll be ready Friday. Now they're saying it's not going to be ready until next week. So reach out to your bank. You're going to get these banks through the loan through your bank. So it's a little bit different than a regular SBA loan. You won't apply through the SBA for this loan. You're going to go through your bank or another SBA approved lender. So I would recommend that you start with your bank, call your bank, see if they're offering these loans, find out what the application process looks like, when you can start applying, how can you start applying, what documents you need so that when you're ready to go to apply, you have all the documents you need to just make it really quick and simple to get the funds. This loan is also available to independent contractors and sole proprietors, but they have a 1-week delay from when they can start applying. So small business owners can start applying on Friday. Independent contractors and sole proprietors can start applying next week, probably next Friday. How the loan amount will be calculated. So the bank is going to be responsible for calculating the loan amount and the amount that they're going to give you. It's going to be based on the salaries and wages, plus the employer portion of health insurance paid, plus employer retirement matches paid for the last year. There's kind of an uncertainty of what the last year is going to consist of. I haven't seen any regulations. Looking through CPA chat boards this morning, nobody still has really good guidance on those dates. So it's either going to be from January 1st through December 31st, 2019, or they're going to do it through, April 1st, 2019 through March 31st, 2020. I haven't seen regulations, so just be prepared either way that is going to be, it's going to be based on a year, but we don't know what the year is going to look like, right? So you're going to take your wages, your employer paid health insurance, and anything that you've paid in employer contribution matching to retirement accounts. You're going to take that total for the year. You're going to divide that by 12. So it's going to give you an average monthly cost, essentially. Then you're going to take that number and you're going to multiply it by 2.5. So in a nutshell, you're going to get 2.5 months of payroll costs in this loan. And again, the bank will calculate this for you. It's good to know in your head roughly how much you're going to get, but the bank's going to be the one that determines this amount. Okay, so then if you are approved and you get the loan or the program, the funds have to be used for payroll costs, which includes benefits, interest on mortgages, and these mortgages had to have been incurred before February 15th. Note that this is not talking about your home mortgage. This is not to cover your personal expenses. This is if your business owns real estate, if your business owns their office, then this is the interest on that mortgage that you have on that office space, okay? Not your personal mortgage. Rent, but the lease must have been enforced before February 15th, and then any utilities that you're paying for your business. Again, it's not home utilities. This is covering, your physical place of business. If you use the money on those 4 items, then they're saying that this loan will be forgivable. Again, if you use it on something other than these items, then that portion will not be forgivable. And then this kind of gives you more details. The payroll costs, what it's going to be included. So payroll costs, they're saying, is going to include the salary, wages, commissions, or tips paid to each employee. And this amount is capped at $100,000 per employee. So if the employee makes $130,000 a year, they're going to back out that extra $30,000 and only reimburse for the first $100,000 that employee makes. Employee benefits such as their paid time off, if you give them medical or sick leave, health insurance premiums, the employer funding of the retirement benefits. So if the employer is matching on a simple IRA or a 401k, any state and local taxes that are assessed on compensation. So these are like your state unemployment tax, or if you do business in Denver and you're having to pay that Denver occupational tax, that would be included in this. And then if you're a sole proprietor or an independent contractor, since you're not on payroll, they're going to look at if you do pay yourself wages, commissions, or income, or the net earnings you made from self-employment, again, capped at $100,000. So that's how they're kind of calculating payroll. Okay, so again, if you use the money for those 4 items, so rent, mortgage interest, payroll, and utilities, the loan will be forgivable. If you use the loan for other things, you're going to owe money at the end of this. A couple other caveats to note. The government really wants you to maintain those levels of employees. So if you do not maintain your staff or employee levels based on those annualized totals that the bank looked at to approve your loan, then your portion that you get is going to be reduced. So it says here, number of staff. If you reduce the number of staff, a full-time equivalent headcount, then a portion of the loan will be reduced based on that. The level of payroll, if you are going to dock employees' pay, I've seen that with some employers. It's the only way to make ends meet, to reduce employees' pay. If you have to do that and you reduce employees' pay for more than 25%, then again, a portion of this loan will not be forgiven. And then you have until June 30th to rehire and restore your full-time employment for any changes that you have made between February 15th and April 26th. And then the second piece of this is 75% of this loan must be used to fund payroll costs. And then that leaves 25% that you can spend on, your mortgage interest, your rent, and utilities. But this truly is designed to help cover payroll, hence why it's called the Paycheck Protection Program. So those are some things to keep in mind that, you want to follow these so that you can get the full amount forgiven. So there's not a lot of guidance on this yet. It sounds like, you're going to have to provide a request for forgiveness to your lender. So you're going to go in, you're going to fill out the loan from your bank or do it online. They're going to approve you, they're going to go through the approval process. If you're approved, they will, use the documents you submitted to calculate that 2.5 months essentially of payroll costs that you're going to get. You're going to get the money. I recommend that you put it in a separate bank account. And I'm hearing a lot of really great guidance on this. It's going to help you to keep track of the money. And then as you spend it on payroll, rent, utilities, mortgage, you have a really easy way to track where that money went. So then, in a couple months when the bank says, hey, we need documentation of where and how you spent this money, that it's super easy to provide, super easy to see exactly where this money went, no questions about it. Okay, so the banks are going to request that you verify the number of full-time equivalent employees and their pay rates. So you're probably going to have to provide payroll registers, payroll reports from your payroll company during that time of the loan or that 8-week period, right? If you use this money on mortgage interest, you're going to need to supply them with mortgage statements detailing out that mortgage interest. Lease payments, again, you're going to have to show, invoices and cleared checks probably for the rent that you paid during that 8-week period. Utility obligations, you're going to need, again, those invoices from your utility companies and showing that you made those payments during that 8-week period. And then the lender will take all of these documents, look at them, and then they have to make a decision of loan forgiveness within 60 days. So that'll be probably 60 days of submitting this documentation. So it's going to be really important that you keep good documentation. A couple just random details on this loan. Sorry, I'm talking too much and my voice is dry. So the Paycheck Protection Program, additional details you need to know, the interest rate on this is incredible. They are saying 0.5%, so 0.5% interest, which is phenomenal. It is important to note that the actual law, the CARES Act, said the interest rate would be 4%. So there's kind of some uncertainty. The law says a 4% interest loan. The paperwork that's coming out from the SBA right now and their kind of fact sheets are saying 0.5% interest rate. So I'm thinking it's going to be a 0.5% interest rate, but definitely check with your lender as you apply for these to verify what your interest rate is going to be, because it probably can go up to 4%. They are going to defer your first payments for 6 months. So you don't have to make any payments on this loan for 6 months, but the interest does start accruing once you get the loan, and then you'll have 2 years to pay back the loan. There's no personal guarantee or no collateral, which is different from most, SBA loans. And there's no prepayment penalties or fees. So once you're done, once you kind of get your business up and running, you can pay this back right away and not, incur any fees or penalties. So really, they're trying to make this super simple and super easy for you to get. They're also saying that banks are not allowed to charge a fee to process the loan, which is great. So that is kind of how all of this works. I did get a great question this morning from a client wondering about, can we use this PPP loan for subcontractors? I am not sure. There is kind of conflicting information out there. I'm thinking no. If you have, this truly is designed to pay employees, The law did mention subcontractors, but from what people are saying, they think it really truly meant for like the sole proprietors who are subcontractors for other companies. And that's what they meant when they said subcontractors. Everything coming out from the SBA, everything on the SBA fact sheet doesn't mention getting reimbursed for amounts that you paid to your subcontractors. If you do need a loan to pay subcontractors, then I would look at that first one we talked about, which is the EIDL loan. That one definitely covers a wider range of things in your business. But again, that one's not the forgivable loan. That one you get the up to $10,000 kind of grant that you don't have to pay back. But the Paycheck Protection Program really truly is designed to help you keep your employees on payroll. What else do you need to know? I'm going to switch over back to the video so that I can look to see if there's any comments coming in if you guys have questions. So if you have questions, I believe you can see a Q&A panel and you're welcome to type your questions in there. I'm going to kind of hold tight while I wait and see if anybody has typed in some questions. I know there's a lot of questions out there. There's a lot to wrap our brains around with all of this. And it's crazy because this stuff literally is changing every day, every minute. So yeah, don't be afraid. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them out here. I'm kind of watching the chat board to see if anything is coming in. So I'll just kind of hold tight for just a minute. I'll look through this too to see if I missed anything. Oh, it is important to note, if you take the EIDL loan, so you apply for that and you get that up to $10,000 grant from that, you can't double dip on the two programs. They originally came out and said you can only get one loan or the other. So you can only get either the EIDL or the PPP. Now they're saying that if you use them for different things, that we think you can apply for both. So if you need the PPP to cover payroll, you can go ahead and get that and it'll help you keep your employees employed for the next couple months. And then if you need the EIDL to kind of fund the rest of the operations of your business, then you can go ahead and get that. There is some talk that if you applied for the EIDL and got that and you really only need the PPP loan, that maybe they'll merge them together and you can, push that EIDL loan over to the PPP. It is important to note, if you did get that up to $10,000 kind of advance on the EIDL, it's going to reduce the forgivable portion of this PPP loan if you apply for that as well. So you can't double dip. You can't get, I don't want to call it free money because it's not free money, but you can't get the free money on the EIDL and then the free money, on the PPP. You can't get both. So if you get one, if you apply for both, great, but note that the PPP forgivable is going to be discounted by that up to $10,000 that you got is that advance on the EIDL. I guess a quick recap, the EIDL one, that when you apply through the SBA, so you're going to go to COVID-19 relief.sba.gov, and that's where you apply for that. The other side, if you need the PPP loan, the Paycheck Protection Program, that one goes live starting tomorrow, Friday, and you're going to go through your bank. So contact your bank first. If you are local, I've been in touch with Flatirons Community Bank, Flatirons Bank. They are servicing their customers first, but they will also work with other business owners in the community if you can't get a loan through your bank. So if you need a separate bank that isn't an SBA provided loan provider, reach out to Flatirons Bank here in Boulder. They do have some other offices, but I'm familiar with the one in Boulder. So that's a great resource for you. Yeah, perfect. So I don't see anybody posting comments or questions. I do get one that just said, thank you for putting this together. Very helpful. So I hope I was thorough and answered your questions. If you are one of our clients, please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out. This stuff is complicated, it's confusing. It literally changes by the hour. and so if you have questions, please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out. Me and my team are here for you. We have other people on this call that are not current clients. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We can definitely help you. Everybody's in a kind of a completely different situation. So depending on your unique needs of your business will kind of determine where you need to go. Reach out to your lenders and to your banks as well. They're a great resource to help you weed through this and help you understand which loan, one or the other, or both is what you need for your business. Both are really great options that, I'm thrilled that the government is offering to all of us. I guess that's all I have. Um, so I'll wait around just one more second if anybody has any questions. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you learned a lot. I hope this was good. Oh, here's one. Do you know what documents lending banks will need proof of for payroll, QuickBooks reports? So that is a great question. I don't have complete details. Again, you're going to want to reach out to your bank. It sounds like the banks are kind of specifically putting these together. But I do know based on what they're going to look at, let me go back to my slide so I tell you exactly what they're looking for. So the loan amount is going to be based on the salaries and wages. So you can if you process payroll through QuickBooks, you can pull, an annualized QuickBooks report that details out what the employees were paid every month. It would probably pull something that was paid every month or a report for every month so that you have all the details the banker needs. But you can pull that from QuickBooks for sure. Or if you use a different payroll company, you can reach out to your payroll provider. If we process your payroll, reach out to us and we can grab these reports for you. But you are going to need some kind of payroll report that details out, who was on payroll, how much were they paid over that year. And again, there's no really good documentation out there yet what that year includes. So we don't know. If your bank doesn't tell you, I would go ahead and pull a report for all of 2019. So January 1st through January 31st, 2019. Then I would also pull another one from, let's say like April 1st, 2019 through March 31st, 2020. Then you kind of have both buckets covered. So you're going to need payroll reports. You're going to need something detailing out your employer paid health insurance. So call your insurance provider and get, bills for the last year, bills at least for the last couple months. And you're going to need employer match. So reach out to your retirement company and get those, a report from them. I don't know that the bank is going to just use, if you take them a clear check and says, hey, here's what I paid. I'm not sure that they're going to allow that. They probably want details exactly from these different entities. So just reach out to your health insurance provider, your retirement company to get a report and pull those reports from your payroll company. I would be prepared to have financial statements ready too. I don't know that they're going to look at the financial health of your business, but I would definitely have that ready just in case you need it. Here, I've got some notes somebody else that said, you're also going to want to pull together your 941s, which are the tax return that you file every quarter to the IRS to report your wages and your tax amounts. And this CPA was saying, their bank was saying, you're going to need 941s for all 4 quarters of 2019. And if the first quarter 2020 is available, bring that one. The first quarter just ended 2 days ago. So most of your payroll companies will not have these reports ready. They typically aren't ready until mid-April. They're not due till the end of the month, so mid-April. So if they are ready, great, you have it. If not, don't worry about it. I'm sure the bank will ask for that later. So that's what I would definitely bring. So payroll reports, 941s for the last 4 quarters of 2019, documents from your health insurance company showing what the premiums amount paid. Again, you want those invoices from the health insurance company. documentation of your employer matches to the retirement company. Again, reach out to your the company that manages your 401k, your simple IRA, and they should be able to get you a report. So that's what you'll need to take to the bank. All right. Perfect. I think that is all the questions. Thank you for the great questions. It looks like, yeah, I've got clients just saying, thank you. This is all great information. They got to kind of process it and they'll reach out. So yes, please, if you're a client, don't hesitate to reach out. We're here for you. Yeah, so thanks again for joining us, and I'm going to shut down. Have a wonderful day. And if you are watching on YouTube, definitely post comments down below. I'll be watching for those and answer them the best that I can as they come in. Thanks again. I hope you guys all take care, and hoping and praying for all of us to get through this. All right. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us. Bye.